You're watching Fox Sports, Australia's sports leader.
This is the Canterbury side, and the only change from their successful team in the semi-finals. Chris Anderson resumes on the wing, and that allows Peter Mortimer to join his brother Chris in the centres. Eastern Suburbs side is unchanged from that which annihilated Western Suburbs in last week's preliminary final. The team unchanged, and the only injury worry really was with number 13, John Harvey, with a hamstring tear, but he is okay and will play. Referee Greg Hartley in charge of his third first-grade grand final. Ted Glossop missed a non-emotion, if you can call him that. He displays no emotion whatsoever during a game. I perhaps think that he might feel differently about that situation today. So all set for the 1980 grand final, and it looks as though Noel Cleal is going to restart play, or to start play. Play underway in 1980, the premiership decider. Noel Cleal's kick is a long one to Brentnell.
I don't think it'll be too long before we see the kick, and we immediately see the kick deep down into East Territory. So obviously early tactics for Canterbury will be to play the game in East's half. And
Marty Gurr's going to put it back. Not such a good kick, but he had the wind with which to contend. And racing towards the touchline. Well, how that was kept in play, I don't know. The touch judges allowed it. And Canterbury have got it inside East's half.
Smart piece of work there by Peter Mortimer. Put that ball into play before it went out.
Paponis, Hughes, Folks. No, that's Coveney.
Should be a testing time for both sides, and East known for their defence.
Robinson got that one high around the chest.
We're going to see a lot of heavy work surely from Robinson and Coveney, Harvey, Ailiff, the big men in the front row. And there's Canterbury's tactics immediately to try and, first of all, we've seen them kick, and now they're getting that ball wide.
Inside East's half, Steve Mortimer, grab a kick for the line. Knocked on there by Michael.
It was a difficult one for him.
Yes, I think initially you have to give him full marks for anticipating and getting back guarding the touchline, but it was a difficult one to pick up, the grab a kick.
Good kick from Stevie Mortimer.
First scrum of the match is on the Eastern Suburbs quarter line. It's going to be a scrum feed from Kevin Hastings. Good feed too, and he's won it. Gurr. At Canterbury defence moving up quickly. 5/8 right. Hastings. Tobin.
Got a feeling, a lot of tension in such an important game, and both sides would be trying to settle the play down. And here we see East trying to get it out, but Canterbury, brilliant defence.
Back to Lang.
Ailiff right in his tracks.
East skipper Royce Ailiff, dummy half. Hastings. Didn't gain all that much ground, but it unsettled Canterbury, drove them backwards. Scrum screwing around. Referee Hartley is going to pack it again. We'll watch for a scrum infringement here. Ball in. That's McFarlane from the blindside wing, caught by Gary and Mark Hughes.
Important scrum wins there early for Johnny Lang. Give East the opportunity to attack first.
This is right, caught by Graham Hughes. John Lang, dummy half. Harvey. Penalty against Canterbury, offside. A little bit of feeling behind play with Harvey on the ground.
Harvey went straight up the centre of the ruck there, and Ailiff over to protect him with Harvey on the ground.
This is the opinion, and it's against Canterbury. You can see they had more than the required number or the allowable number of dummy halves. Ailiff took it back the blind side. To Lang. Ailiff.
Big strong man. He's got to be put down on the ground.
Ayliffe and Graham Hughes having a set to. Robinson coming in over the top, and the touch judge coming in to report that. I think that was unnecessary. That happened right in front of Hartley, but Hartley's got no option but to stop play. And Hartley getting right in amongst them. He really doesn't want anything to develop in this game.
Got a feeling out there.
Now let's see if we can pick up that incident between Ayliffe and Graham Hughes. And this is Ayliffe and Graham Hughes, and they continue from here. And it looks as though a penalty is going to go to Canterbury.
Referee Hartley right on the job. Doesn't want any foul stuff in this game. It was cut out the rough stuff.
Coveney made a solid tackle there from Harvey, and a penalty against East. The use of a swinging arm in the tackle against Des O'Reilly. Eastern Suburbs looking to put a little bit of toughness into this game. Now you watch Harvey, number 9. It missed. And for whatever Eastern Suburbs' attitude is, I'm sure Greg Hartley will match them, because he's quite determined to keep out the rough stuff from this game.
He's right on the job, isn't he? He's not standing for any nonsense at all, and it's obvious that East's tactics will be to, any time they can get hold of Canterbury, to put them on the ground in no uncertain terms. Particularly the big men, they're going to use their strength, and that's where it is in that, two big props, Harvey and Ayliffe.
Steve Gearin has the use of this breeze in the first half. It's a light nor'easter. It's coming from the far side of the ground and is giving Canterbury a little bit of assistance. As we look head on, it's blowing virtually, if you can imagine the angle, from the top right-hand corner of the picture, coming down at that angle. And Steve Gearin with the very first scoring opportunity of the match. He's 27 metres out. And no mistake with that whatsoever. Canterbury draw first blood. They lead Eastern Suburbs by 2 points to 0 after 8 minutes. Noel Cleal to restart. Down to Brentnall.
There he is. He looks immediately to kick. And their sound tactics turn.
Marty
It means
Kerr.
that the East players have to get back on side, get them moving, don't let them set their defence.
And Gurr's followed up his own kick. Brentnall's got it. Misses Brentnall, but that's at least gained that distance back for Eastern Suburbs. Gurr did well. He picked a vacant spot on the field and kicked away from any Canterbury defender, and Brentnall had to come across. So Canterbury have it to run it out. 12 metres inside their own half. Steve Mortimer, Mark Hughes, Robinson. Harvey moving in over the top, number 13.
Robinson must be stopped. He's a hard runner. He charges into those rucks. Another fine kick there from Stevie Mortimer, gaining valuable ground for Canterbury.
It would seem to me, Reg, that these Canterbury tactics are quite obvious now. Teddy Glossop's instructed them to keep driving East's back with that kick.
Well, that's the name of the game against a solid set defence like Eastern Suburbs. That's the way to break up that defence. They can't get into a pattern if that ball is continually being kicked, and they have to keep getting back to support Gurr at fullback.
Scrum deep in East's territory. Penalty. And it goes to Eastern Suburbs. It's against Canterbury. No doubt referring to Steve Mortimer. Marty Gurr. On halfway. Lang. Solid defence from Canterbury. They're standing their ground as they meet the Canterbury on the East onrush. Ayliffe. Hastings gave it to Cleal. Damaging centre is this big fellow. Taban. Ayliffe. Warnicky. It's Hastings, the halfback, playing it. Bowstead trying to run around his man and gave a beautiful pass to Michael. He's got loads of pace. Steve Mortimer coming across. Michael for the corner, and beautiful tackle from Mortimer. Into touch. Great covering tackle from the halfback. And that wasn't an easy thing, because David Michael's one of the fastest players in Sydney Rugby League.
Fine piece of cover defence there, and it was noticeable the speed and the combination of Bowstead running across field. He's got Gurr with him, but he leaves Gurr out. And look at this fellow, immediately set sail for that line, and you'll see Stevie Mortimer, number 7 for Canterbury, pick up Michaels. He's really got some speed, but watch this for a tackle. Beautiful cover defending tackle on Michaels to put him into touch.
Gary Hughes, Robinson brings the crowd to their feet every time he touches the ball.
It takes 2 or 3 defenders with him too.
Coveney. Well, territorially, it's been all Canterbury so far. 16 minutes nearly gone. Switch in play. Mark Hughes put through the gap. Mark Hughes close to the line. Clever switching there by Canterbury. Graham Hughes, dummy half. To his brother Gary.
He's a danger man, Gary Hughes.
1 tackle to go. Brentnell trying to high bomb in behind the East's defence. Could be anyone's ball, and East have got it.
Canterbury doing well to keep East under pressure. East are finding it hard to get away from their own line. This is the hardest time, being pegged down your own quarter line.
And now trying to kick out of trouble. I don't think it'll find touch though. Anderson.
The tactics are all right, but they've got to find that line.
Caught by Aleph and Bowstead.
Canterbury testing this defence.
Steve Mortimer. Gary Hughes.
Unloading again.
Brentnell.
We haven't seen a great deal of Stevie Mortimer. He's been doing some kicking for the line, but he's just unloading the ball, prepared to bide his time. Of course, East has got to keep an eye on where he goes, where he positions himself. He's got it now.
Graham Hughes trying to run around the defence. Wrestled down by Aleph. These two have had a few words to say together. That's play on.
It's fair decision.
Steve Mortimer. Now he's off. Mortimer's through. Good support. Graham Hughes left it behind. Mark Hughes has got it. That's Chris Mortimer. End of 6.
Very dangerous on that blind side, Canterbury.
And aren't they quick to keep the ball going?
My word. And a fine tackle there for Marty Gurr. He had to take ball and all in that situation.
The ball loose on the ground, snapped up by Mark Hughes. And Chris Mortimer there caught with it. So back live, we've got Mark Hughes making another break.
One wonders just how long East can keep Canterbury out. They're playing this line, they're working the ball.
Gary Hughes gave it back to Robinson, and the ball loose on the ground.
Lost possession. Well, that's a relief for Eastern Suburbs. Now they've got to get out of their territory. Good run by Harvey. They've got to keep it going.
Marty Gurr's kick is across field for the touchline and running to it.
That's more like it. They're trying desperately to find that touchline. He's got it this time, and relieves the pressure for Eastern Suburbs. Now, if they can get hold of this ball, East, it gives them a chance then to give Canterbury some work in attack.
Ball comes out to Eastern Suburbs, and that makes the scrums 4-3 to East. And only 5 penalties awarded so far in the game after 20 minutes.
The ball has changed hands on a number of occasions.
Lang, O'Reilly. Lang. Aleph. Waiting for support. Good pass. Bowstead's out there. He's got plenty of toe. And a lovely tackle from Peter Mortimer. Not held to the ground, and Bowstead close. Now Easts with their first chance. Hastings. Des O'Reilly. Ball went loose and Canterbury have got it. Brednall to play it. It's Gary Hughes. To Gearin. Caveney. Jarring tackle from Taban. That was a good one. Paponis. Steve Mortimer. Robinson. Aylett did the right thing. He went right around the bootlaces. Paponis.
Line-side play, yes.
Now last one coming up with Gary Hughes to play it.
I expect we see Greg Brentnell. Now they've decided to run it out.
Graham Hughes lost the ball forward and Hastings has got it for Easts.
Touch judge in.
Warnicki. And the touch judge has come in. Now referee Hartley had stopped play because the touch judge came in earlier. Max Thompson came in from the far touch line, and it's an incident involving Des O'Reilly by the looks of things. Penalty goes to Canterbury.
There's tackle on Graham Hughes.
It's Graham Hughes being put to the ground there by Des O'Reilly. The ball came away to Hastings, and just watch in the background there and see if there's an incident there between Graham Hughes. Yes, there it is. Use of the forearm on Graham Hughes. Robinson. Brentnall. Marty Gurr is back on his own quarter line. We'll take it on the full. Just nearly dropped
close,
it.
Yes.
Caveney, the defender. To Hastings. McFarlane. Canterbury are leading by 2 points to 0 after 23 minutes gone. Lang. Hastings. It's Harvey. Lang. Hastings for the line. It rebounded off Canterbury.
The importance of possession in this game, it's very tight. Canterbury again varying their attack.
And Brendel is put through the gap. He's got support inside. Mortimer, Chris Mortimer. His winger had gone inside, and there it is to Anderson, who's on his way to the line. He's going to score next to the posts. And again, that was Greg Brendel coming in from fullback, created the overlap, and Chris Mortimer did the good work to set it up. And the try scorer is Chris Anderson, the veteran test winger.
Great try to Canterbury, and an important scrum win there. Brentnell coming in, finding that gap between the centres, makes the break. Beautiful pass inside to Chris Mortimer. And watch the speed of Chris Anderson. He's positioning on the inside, a fine pass, which looks somewhat forward. But obviously Greg Hartley on the job. Anderson on his way to the line for Canterbury's first try.
And from head on, we won't get any idea of whether or not that pass was forward. It looked to be so. And the pass comes inside here. He waited and then gave it to Anderson. And Anderson raced away, being chased by McFarlane to score. The score is 5-0 before this conversion attempt from Gearin. Yes, true. Gearin's got 2 out of 2. And the score is 7 points to 0 in favour of Canterbury. 25.5 minutes gone. Now a scrum feed by Steve Mortimer. Canterbury ball, Mark Hughes. Gary Hughes. Graham has gone to ground with it. to Gary. Steve Mortimer, took Mark Hughes, Peter Mortimer.
Beautiful passing there from Canterbury. Their ability to get that ball from one flank to the other. Speed lightning.
That's Peter Mortimer there to play it as he goes behind to Brentnall. And another long kick away from Gurr this time. Winger Michael chasing it back. Good bounce. Away from Graham Hughes, but not from that tackle. Good defence. Chris Mortimer. Now to McFarlane, got Anderson to beat, and did it easily. Being chased by Steve Mortimer, McFarlane caught in another lovely tackle from the halfback. Playing it to Lang. Hastings, right, Cleal. "30 metres out, O'Reilly, Hastings, Bowstead. Swerving run from Kerry Bowstead down to the quarter line. On the 5th tackle, 1 remaining. Lang dummy half. Ailiff. There's Harvey. Harvey wanted to play it, didn't realise it was 6 tackles. Steve Mortimer with yet another lovely tackle.
It's very obvious that Coach Teddy Glossop has got him in the back line, not in that front line for that cover defence. He saved 2 possible tackles, 2 possible tries.
The scrum has collapsed a little bit there. And John Lang sitting on the seat of his pants. Oh, if there wasn't a loose arm in there, that's a penalty going to Canterbury, and it's to East at least. It's against the Canterbury halfback, Steve Mortimer. And now we're going to have Ken Wright to have a shot for goal. And I just wonder what Ken Wright thinks about when he's lining up a shot at goal with East not as yet having had an opportunity to score points. It's 7-0 here, and let's listen to what Ken Wright thinks about.
What I think about when lining up a shot at goal is I'm trying to concentrate on, first of all, setting the ball right, making sure that the ball is how I want it, because at times if the ball's not right, it tends to affect your confidence and your concentration. When going back, I try and think about just how I'm going to approach the ball, that I'm not going to try and kick it too hard. I'm going to keep my head down and just follow through with the kick.
From the quarter line, and he's got it. First points, 7-2 the score. Nothing wrong with that approach to the kick from Kenny Wright. 7-2 the score.
Well, interesting to note, prior to this game, it was the Canterbury that had the weak spell, and they were the fresher side, where East had to do it. They had a hard game last week, and a lot of people thought that if East could hold Canterbury, they could come back strong in the second half. Well, at the moment, there's only 5 points the difference. Canterbury leading 7-2, and East have been able to contain Canterbury. A lot of people thought that Canterbury would have a bigger lead. I remember last year it was St George into it, 17-0, and it was in Canterbury that came back in the second half, only to go down 17-13. But East are holding on quite well.
That's Gurr. Fullback Marty Gurr on the 5th tackle will play it there to Harvey. Blindside Lang, away from him to Ailiff. Lang. Now East trying to move it quickly. This is O'Reilly. Good step, no support. 6 tackles by the board. Just over 7 minutes before half-time, and a scrum being fed by Mortimer. Penalty, and it goes to East. Against Steve Mortimer for not retiring. The scrum screwed right around, but the rule states that the referee must stay behind the own line, the line of the mark. He's not allowed to follow the pack around. And you can see that he's been caught offside there in front of the mark. Well, Ken Wright, and you heard his description of what he's thinking about at this moment, and I've got no doubt he's thinking exactly the same, because the kick was so successful. It was never offline, and with Easts to have the use of the breeze in the second half, no doubt they'd love this kick to be a successful one. Steve Gearon's kicked 2 out of 2 for Canterbury. Ken Wright 1 out of 1 so far. The only try of the match has been scored by Chris Anderson after 24 minutes, and that makes the score 7-2 before this kick. 33 metres out. Ken Wright, not a difficult kick, got it in the air nicely, and it's straight. Kenny Wright, 2 out of 2. It's Wright throwing a little dummy, and he's got through the first line. A long one over McFarlane's head. Now the scrum is right on halfway, and the scrum penalty goes to Eastern Suburbs, and Steve Mortimer has been pinged once again, putting the ball into the second row.
I think he's only got himself to blame. I agree with Greg Hartley. He had a very good view of that one.
And here it is, you'll see in the replay, and the ball is fed straight in behind his hooker's feet. Lang. Hastings to Harvey. It's O'Reilly.
Canterbury must defend grimly here, because if East can get in, there's only about a minute of play remaining. The try to East would give them a tremendous advantage.
Lang going up the blind side himself. Always good for 5 or 7 metres. Johnny Lang doesn't run unless he knows he can make ground. Gurr now trying a high bomb. It's going to be too high, and that is a penalty against one of the Canterbury players for an obstructing one of the East's players obstructing a Canterbury defender. You'll notice here that as the ball went from the dummy half, Lang ran across and grabbed Steve Mortimer by the jersey. That was before Marty Gurr got the ball. And the ball has found touch. Referee Hartley signifies that he's okay. So we've got a few seconds of pressure for the East's defence. There it is, and put in the air by Steve Mortimer. It's not a badly placed kick either. Gurr waits and takes it nicely. And that's the end of the first half. At half-time, Canterbury leading Eastern Suburbs 7 points to 4.
This summer, Fox Sports and ESPN brings you an incredible new lineup of the greatest sports on the planet.
Manchester United!
Come with me now.
What a go with me!
Not only superheroes can change lives and help others, you can too as an elite personal trainer. At the Australian Institute of Personal Trainers, your success is our priority. You'll graduate as the personal trainer the industry prefers. With mentoring from real fitness professionals in real gyms at over 100 locations across Australia, you'll have access to one of the largest networks of fitness employers. Start a super career in fitness today and get up to 65% off. Call now or visit aipt.com.au.
At Finance Easy, we're competitive by nature. When finding you a finance quote, we won't settle for second best. We have access to an extensive panel of lenders so we can find the winning loan for you.
When you have a job to do, you don't have time to waste. You want to get in there, get it done and move on. No hassle, no stress. Our commercial finance team can organise any equipment lease anywhere in Australia. We provide all financing and leasing options with fast approval times and low interest rates.
We make finance easy. Call us today on 1300 003 003.
When you're living in a moment where people are considering you the best at what you do, I'm not living that moment. I'm outside watching myself play, watching myself win championships, just watching my body go through the motions, because I feel like if I were in that moment and I felt what everyone felt, I would become satisfied, and I'm nowhere near done.
You can sense the expectancy in the crowd here, because the game far from over. Still quite capable of going either way, and the crowd realise that, and you can sense their indecision. They don't quite know what to expect, and nor does Ted Glossop. Game underway in the second half, and the ball put down deep. Marty Gurr waited to put the kick in, and it's a long one going straight to Brentnall. Now, these are two of the best kicking fullbacks in Sydney. Brentnall, a grubber kick for the line, just over the top. David Michael driven towards the touchline, held inside by Bowstead. Ayliffe. Harvey. That's Warnicky across, and now East's moving the ball quickly. They had an overlap on the far side of a couple of men. Now Ayliffe's been penalised for another headbutting incident. That's the second time in this match. Chris Mortimer was pulled out of the way by his brother Steve. Well, Ayliffe's been given 2 cautions for that, and I think if he does it again, he'll be off. Here it is. This is the reason for the penalty. Now, Chris Mortimer had him held up, and you'll watch the headbutt there. And the referee at this stage had moved in, and he got a square up in.
They're silly tactics by Ayliffe there, particularly with possession so vital in such a low-scoring game. There's nothing in it, very tight. A good run by Papanis.
Inside East's quarter line. Long one out to Peter Mortimer. Got away from Cleal, but not from that driving tackle. It was a good tackle from halfback Hastings. Steve Mortimer. Gary Hughes. Coveney. Well caught by Harvey and held down by O'Reilly. Graham Hughes. Robinson. Now Canterbury in a good position. If they had got a scrum penalty from this, they'd be happy.
Good feed there by Hastings. At this stage, it looks like an East ball.
Well, some decision's got to be made here by referee Hartley. The ball not coming out, and it'll be a penalty, and it's going to Canterbury, and that is against the Eastern Suburbs halfback John Lang. And Steve Gearin, 15 metres in from touch. He's on the quarter line. This will be a handy lead if he can kick it against the breeze. Oh, no mistake. That's a beautiful kick from Gearin. 9-4, never off target. Lovely kick.
Crowd obviously waiting to see which team is going to crack first. It's a fine win to Canterbury with Bentley chiming in once again. He's always dangerous.
Well, they've got an overlap here if they use it quickly, and it's Peter Mortimer being chased there by Bowstead, and a lovely tackle. Terry Bowstead.
Here. Canterbury need to quick play the ball.
Brendel, Gary Hughes. Inside it went. Steve Folkes. To Mark Hughes. Gary. Coveney. East have still got that straight line of defence, and Canterbury starting to bunch in attack. You can see there. And this is the telling time now. The next 10 minutes could well decide this match. Long one, Graham Hughes. Last tackle coming up. Will it be the bomb? Steve Mortimer, Gary Hughes. Little kick through and knocked to the ground. Referee's giving a penalty for a late tackle. Well, look at that again. You'll see that Gary Hughes tried the little kick through, and in the referee's opinion, he was obstructed after kicking. Now, here's the kick. The ball's gone through. And he went to the ground. Penalty awarded out there. Well, we've heard what Steve Gearin has, well, at least what Ken Wright thinks about when he's facing a shot at goal. This is Steve Gearin now going to line up his shot for goal. And this is what he thinks.
Opportunity arises for me to take a shot at goal. I generally take my time when I come to the mound. I carefully place the ball and have a look and see whether there's any wind, and take my time mainly and think about that I am going to get it. Think a very positive view, and move back carefully and come in nice and slowly, kick the ball as smoothly as I can, and just hope that it goes through the post.
Well, let's see if he's right this time. Got a 100% record so far. Steered that one through too, and that's a better lead for Canterbury. 11-4. 26 minutes to go. Gearin now 4 out of 4. Well, it's all up to Easts now. Can they get back into it?
Well, that's the big question mark, and now they have to make their forward move, and they won't do it like that. However, now what they must do is to contain, keep Canterbury down. As yet, East have found it difficult. There's again, they've only had one try scored in the game. Goal kicking being the difference, and well, East have got to move up, and they've got to try and get hold of this ball. They desperately need points, Eastern Suburbs.
Coveney. A deliberate kick-off from halfway by Cleal put the ball out over the dead ball line, so Easts intend to keep Canterbury near their own quarter. Well, Canterbury can counter by kicking, but we'll just wait and see. Robinson. Geez, he's hard to put down.
He gets out wide, and he takes 2 or 3 men with him.
Graham Hughes. Good break by the second row. Unloaded. That's Paponis. He's got support. Looked the wrong way. Steve Folkes was running up inside. But it's good work by Canterbury over halfway. Penalty against Hastings. Paponis got to his feet, was knocked down again. Penalty rightly given to Canterbury. 6 metres inside East's half.
Canterbury will take those penalties all day. It's a very handy lead, 11 points to 4. Game slipping away from Eastern Suburbs.
Now let's watch this kick from Greg Brentnell. He's a former Australian rules player, knows how to kick the ball too, and has gained all of 40 metres there. That's a good kick. He's put Canterbury right on the attack as Gearin runs it across field. Now let's watch for the two Mortimers to combine here. Coveney. Now very shortly you'll see Steve Mortimer come in and look to link up with his outside centres. Graham Hughes. Canterbury just settling it down in front of East's posts. Blindside, Gary Hughes. Another little kick through. And just touched into touch in goal by Marty Gurr. Noel Cleal will restart. That's a high drop kick rather than a long one. Peter Mortimer met with a solid head-on tackle from Gary Warneke. Steve Mortimer. Folks. Steve Mortimer, Gary Hughes, Mortimer, Robinson. Graham Hughes was there with him. Oh, now Taban and Graham Hughes are having a little set to. Penalty against Taban. Well, we'll have a look at how that started. The penalty has gone to Canterbury in a kickable position. And this is how it started, with Taban trying to get back on side there, and Hughes, I don't know about who I'd call the aggressor there.
Of course, the important thing is that Canterbury have received the penalty, and they've got the chance of going even further ahead. 11-4, Canterbury leading at the moment. Now the 2 points will be very handy indeed.
I remember talking to Bill Anderson, the South Sydney coach, earlier in the week, and he said that, in his opinion, Canterbury would win this match because they've got a reliable goal kicker who had grand final experience. Well, he looks like being proved right at this stage.
That's right. Can you make it 5 out of 5?
Now, this is the longest range kick that Gearin has had today, but he's been dead on target with the others. And he's not going to miss with that one either. That's a beautiful kick from Gearin. 13 points to 4. Canterbury lead, 22 minutes to go. 5 out of 5 to Stevie Gearin, 13 to 4, and the game slowly but surely slipping away from the Eastern Suburbs Roosters.
Canterbury now, they can consolidate with this very handy lead. The East have got to get in, and they've got to ferret for that ball. They've really got to upend the Canterbury players and go for that ball. They've got to get over that try line, Eastern Suburbs.
It was well taken on the burst, and as you can see, it's brought results with Chris Mortimer streaking through and kicking downfield. And look at the pace here of Anderson. Anderson and McFarlane. McFarlane should get there first. The ball's loose. East have got it, saved by Warneke, who showed good speed to get down there. It's Lang. And I would think that one of the real features of Canterbury's play, which has been so attractive to the public this year, has been their ability to turn defence into attack. And in one fell swoop there, they took play from their own goal line, deep near deep near East's territory. Lang. 1 to go. Ayliffe, Harvey. Ball jarred loose. Canterbury have it. Graham Hughes. Elder brother Mark. Gary. Brentnell. Mark Hughes. There's no one on the blind side. Mortimer, folks, that's Coveney. Robinson.
Fellows had a great game. He comes in out wide, he comes in close. When he does, he just charges the East defence. Takes 2 or 3 East defensive players out of that line.
1 to go. There's Brentnell. Now scrum 18 metres away from Eastern Suburbs goal line with Kevin Hastings to feed, and he's in a precarious position, Hastings. He doesn't want to, well, the penalty's gone to him, and it's against the Canterbury front row for not standing square onto their opponent's goal line. That's 20 metres from halfway, kick by Gurr. Now Lang. Aleph. Cleal. Lang. Aleph. Hastings, a long one and a wide one to Warnicky. Hastings. Now this is where East will want to assert themselves well and truly.
Now's the time. About 80 minutes of this game left. Got to get points on the board.
Right.
So you've got to give it to that Canterbury defence. They've got they're equal to every move that Eastern Suburbs try.
Hastings. A kick across field that is rolling to touch, and Gearin is back in position. He's got Michael to beat. Steve Mortimer. Mark Hughes.
Nobody running off him. He had to go on his own. It gives the players time to get back into position.
It did look to me, Reg, as though Canterbury were a little bit slow to get back.
Very slow. They're bunched up at the moment.
Graham Hughes.
It's had a great game too, Graham Hughes.
Hasn't he ever? And a good tackle there.
And stayed into play. Well done, Graham Hughes.
Steve Mortimer. Gary Hughes. Steve Folkes.
I think Canterbury realised that East is starting to slow up a bit, and that that's just exactly what they need. They've got to keep moving up.
Brendel. Rebounding off Boasted, and Graham Hughes. Oh, lovely tackle from Boasted right around. Blindside Gurr. Brentnell taking him. Hastings. Ken Wright putting it through for his backs, and they're following through a long kick. I think it'll be too long. Only just, though. Gary Hughes. Brother Mark on the blind side. Coveney. Gary Hughes. Peter Mortimer out to his brother. That's Crisp. Gary Hughes. Brendell's grubber kick is a long one that might find the line. Still rolling. It's a long kick. Marty Gurr's there. And a lovely tackle. Peter Mortimer followed the kick all the way down. And most of East players offside. They're still coming back onside.
Very slow to come back onside. Good work there by Peter Mortimer.
Tobin making a break. Good support. Johnny Lang, the hooker, gave it out. Kerry Boasted upfield. Can he wrong for the defence? Out to David Michael. And again, Steve Mortimer.
It's obviously what he's there for, and he was achieved it to the letter. Great cover defence from the halfback.
And it was very good work by East here to create the attacking position in the first place with Tabin doing the good work initially, and then the ball going out to Boasted. He had to try and wrong foot his winger as he did. And then when he gave it to Michael, here's Steve Mortimer across in classic cover defence. Scrum penalty goes against Canterbury for the same reasons, collapsing in that front row. John Lang's been hurt at the base of the scrum. Harvey, Warnicky. Quick passing, but mistake. Canterbury got it back. And I'd say that is the end of Eastern Suburbs in 1980. 7 minutes to go. And Canterbury looking for another try now. And there's Brendel through the gap. He's got his winger Gearin chasing it through. The kick has been high in the air. And Gearin is over. Unbelievable. What a magnificent try. They can't believe it. What a magnificent take by the winger Stevie Gearin. And here it is with the kick being put up. It was Greg Brendel, the centre.
What a way to finish the season. What a magnificent try. Greg Brendel chiming into the attack as he's done all day. He's made the break. Now you can see Steve Gearin in support, well and truly onside. A high kick from Brendel. These players going back, everyone with their eye on the ball, but they don't notice that Gearin is behind them. Ball coming down, it was a beautifully judged kick. David Michael there, but Gearin beats him with the ball right on the line. Michael trying desperately to keep him there, but what a fantastic try.
And certainly no doubt about it, with the kick being put up, a high left foot kick here by Greg Brendel. He made the break after getting this pass, and then he saw the cover defence come across and he thought this was on, but I don't think anyone imagined that Steve Gearin could take it like this to score. What a magnificent try, and that is worthy of grand final winners in any season. 16-4 now, and here's Steve Gearin with the shot at goal. Gearin with a 100% record so far. 20 metres out, and he maintains his average. That's a great kick. 18-4. And Teddy Glossop knows it's all over now. Good on you, Ted.
Steve Gearin, what a fine performance. A great try and followed up with some great goal kicking. 6 from 6 attempts. Well, that just about wraps it up for Eastern Suburbs for 1980. You can't take it away from Canterbury. Their enterprise that they've shown in their attack. It's been a very defensive game on both sides, but along with some goal kicking, very accurate goal kicking from Gearin, Canterbury were able to sneak away, and East tried desperately to get back in the game, but that try certainly sealed the day. And there's been some fine performances in the Canterbury side. You've got to say that it was a team effort. There were some exceptions because I thought Brendel at fullback has played well. Gearin, Anderson, try scorers. Their centres, the Mortimer brothers played well. Gary Hughes at 5'8", a great organiser. Graham Hughes, excellent game at second row. Jeff Robinson, his runs, his strong runs have had East's in trouble all day. Eastern Suburbs best served by Kevin Hastings and Noel Quill. Their front rowers, Ailiff and Harvey, they tried well indeed. But it was Canterbury, not only in attack. Canterbury have scored the only 2 tries of the game, which is a fair indication. And not to concede a try shows that their defence was also spot on the mark. 4 marks to Canterbury. Their attack and their defence has won the day, and they're certainly worthy winners in 1980.
Well, they're not finished yet because Chris Mortimer wants more points, and that's Anderson.
I hope not.
3 minutes remaining, 18-4 the score. 8 metres in East's half. And on the sideline, we've got Ted Glossop wandering up and down the sideline. Stan Cutler, the fullback, who would have been in this side apart from that ankle injury, coming out. And the sight that intrigues me is that of Ted Glossop, who despite his lack of emotion in previous years, he can't sit still. He's walking up and down the sideline. Meanwhile, Canterbury are breaking through again, and they want another try before this is all over. 15 metres out. Steve Folkes, the second rower, playing it. Steve Mortimer looking the blind side. Mark Hughes. Past Graham to Gary. It's Peter Mortimer. Gary Hughes. Grubber kick. And just goes the wrong side of the corner post. Cleel. Lang. Well picked up out wide. It's Cleel to play it. Lang. Just on 1 minute to go now. Aleph. Oh, and the prop forward got one high, and he'll get a penalty for the late tackle. We'll see that again. He was tripped. I thought there were probably two causes for a penalty there. It looked to me as though Aleph was caught high, but the penalty has gone against Canterbury for the trip. They've found touch deep inside the half, inside the quarter. Well, at least want to try and score a try now. Aleph. Harvey holding it and losing it on the ground.
12, 11, 10.
The referee says that Canterbury will play on with it.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There it is. It's all over. Canterbury winners of the grand final and the J.J. Gilton and Shield for 1980. Premiers in a convincing manner, defeating Eastern Suburbs by 18 points to 4. And for Canterbury, try scored by the two wingers, Anderson and Gearin, and Steve Gearin completing things with 6 goals from 6 attempts. For Eastern Suburbs, Ken Wright, their only points, 2 goals from 2 attempts. The penalties, or at least the scrums, favoured Canterbury by 12 to 11, and the penalties favoured East by 10 to 9. And the Gilton and Shield, a heavy object, but one which these players will carry with great pride and with not too much effort around this Sydney Cricket Ground arena. George Paponis and the injured fullback Stan Cutler starting off on what is going to be a horrendous lap for them, especially those carrying the shield, with all the supporters, the boys coming over the fence and mobbing their great team that has put up an outstanding effort to win this match today. The Bulldog supporters were here in force. The blue and white flags have been waving constantly throughout this game, and they've thoroughly deserved the victory they've been able to carry off today. All of the Canterbury players being involved in carrying the shield around. They're just taking it in turns, handing it from one to the other. But they certainly must feel a very proud moment after nearly 7 months of tortuous football. They've played against all odds, injuries, suspensions, players absent overseas, in all kinds of weather conditions, on all kinds of playing surfaces, and now it's culminated in the great grand final victory this afternoon, 18 points to 4, a great victory over Eastern Suburbs.
This October on Australia's Sports Leader.